was approached by a local reporter via a phone call, and this discussion started from a Reddit forum that he was reading, and a local was complaining about there being 9 billboards in a 1-mile strip of highway. The exact roadway was South 18th Street. So that caused me to go down a little bit of a rabbit hole this evening, reading up on the effects of billboards on residential property values. So here we are. I'm going to jump into this forum here. Somebody on here, what is that? Coyote 206 says, ban all billboards. I hate them. On South 18th, a residential street, there's 9 in a 1-mile stretch. Who needs that? So many otherwise decent looking neighborhoods have dozens of tacky billboards crammed into them. This has 90 comments and was upvoted 485 times. So I can understand why he would reach out about this, right? So it goes on here, people are calling them the ugliest things in the city. Somebody here that came from Vermont says, once not knowing that there's literally a law against billboards, getting back to the land of billboards, being like, what's different here? Who in the heck is actually influenced by a billboard? Let me call this a-hole lawyer because I stubbed my toe. Oh, I need to buy terrible urinated water beer because I see it on a billboard. I don't know, how about you? What do you guys think? Do you make decisions based off of billboards? It's definitely good brand awareness, I'd have to say. But check this out. So I started digging into this. Turns out in 2009, a billboard tax was voted in. And here's their, how billboard tax facts. Who has the special privilege of paying $40 a year on their property taxes? You, senior citizens, disabled veterans, or D, the multi-million-dollar billboard industry? The answer D, you are correct here. So it goes on to saying that given today's hard economic times, on 2012, November 27th, the Pittsburgh City Council passed a 10% levy on revenue generated by billboards within city limits. This tax is anticipated to net the city between $1.5 to $3 million a year. Revenue that Scenic Pittsburgh believes should be used towards trash and dump cleanup, maintaining stabilization of abandoned property, green space development, and increasing our recycling capacity. It seems only fitting that our source of visual blight, billboards, should fund a cleaner, greener Pittsburgh. So that took me down this next avenue here where I wanted to know, what does a billboard do to property values in anywhere in the United States here? So obviously searching for this led me to a study here that was done. Who was it done by? A Jonathan Snyder and a Samuel Fells fund. This was in December 2011. This was 1 year before Pittsburgh City Council passed that tax bill. So I surely wonder what is in this study. We're assuming that they used this study, right? We don't know if that's fact yet. Okay, so let's look at this. Look at this study. As you come down through here, you're gonna see a lot of photos taken, kind of depict the billboards being very close to the houses, right? Okay, so this paper seeks to answer the questions of how billboards affect the economic prosperity of their surrounding areas by combining US Census data, local home property values, etc., etc. What impact do billboards have on real estate prices in the city of Philadelphia? This study was in Philadelphia alone. What impact do billboards have on home value within its census tracts in the city of Philadelphia? And what impact do billboard regulations have on the median income, poverty rates, vacancy rates, different cities in the United States? Philadelphia was selected for this research for several reasons. It is large enough to make a careful examination of interplay between billboards and real estate prices. Furthermore, it has elements of both weak and strong market cities in that it has an affluent residential downtown area with significant purchasing power. Goes on down through at the time, $74,300. Let's jump into literature review over here. A review of available literature reveals a dearth of information on the economic impact of outdoor advertising billboards in the surrounding community. A number of articles have focused economic benefit to businesses, and one study examined how billboards affect the values of property on which they reside, but we found no studies that examined how billboards affect the surrounding area. Okay, the argument against outdoor advertising, of course, is the aesthetic impact on the surrounding communities. I mentioned on the call that maybe it's like it's mentioned here, more of a visual pollution, and maybe a light pollution from the light shining up at it. But I mentioned on the call as well that you're living in its inner city, so you're gonna have street lights outside anyway, reflecting downward, you're never really gonna get that complete blacked out room unless you have dark blinds, right? Okay, the argument against outdoor advertising, I hit on that, was more so the visual pollutions. That's what they're complaining about. This is funny, this photo right here, that photo right there, where does that look like? That is so funny. That looks exactly like South 18th Street. Right as you coming around the bend where the artist painted that South Side Lopes mural. That's what that reminded me of. That's an article in the Journal of Law and Politics made the comment, first, American public has consistently found outdoor advertising to be intrusive, ugly, crassly commercial, and a taint on nature, they said. Okay, this is interesting. I don't have really an opinion on it because I've never thought about it. I've always thought, damn, I wish I could get my face up there on a billboard, right? I always looked at it as great marketing. Oh, there's another one. That one there reminds me, like, as you're coming down old Freeport Road, forget what that is right in there, but that looks exactly, this is from Philadelphia. Just funny that, driving around these must have a photographic memory or something. All right, so the first appearance of these billboards was the 19th century through today. Billboards have met resistance on aesthetic grounds. However, the arguments against billboards often did not discuss their impact on the surrounding areas. Some anti-billboard writers do discuss the economic impact of billboards, but do not find the argument compelling enough. Highly suggest you guys come in here and read this. I'm kind of just proofreading it as we're coming down. Just gonna see what this city planners, that's another important thing. This is a city planner did this study. So again, they're just fighting the aesthetic. They're defending them on constitutional and economic grounds. We are not aware of any studies that have been conducted which examine how billboards impact the area adjacent to them. Again, it just continues to say that we're doing something that hasn't been done here yet. Here it does mention, examined how the quantity of outdoor advertising varies between neighborhoods which are predominantly black and predominantly white. The research showed that black neighborhoods have more total billboards than white neighborhoods. However, income level was not significantly related to ad density over controlling for vacant lots. More directly related to this discussion of billboards and economic prosperity, they concluded that the visual disorder caused by the high density of outdoor ads may reproduce inequality by marking neighborhoods as the ghetto and reducing assessed value by residents and business owners. One reason for the paucity, by studies on the issues of the economic billboards of impact on billboards on the surrounding area could be the difficulty in the valuation of open space. As we continue down, we're almost on the last page here. They just want open space with no billboards, no real data on anything here so far other than they're obviously adding a lot of filler in here in my opinion. This paper attempts to determine how billboards affect economic prosperity. Economic prosperity is a broad concept in that the paper analysis several characteristics that can be easily measured and captured. Median income, poverty rate, vacancy rate, and home values. Okay, question 1. What impact do billboards have on real estate prices in the city of Philadelphia? Okay, let's get into the nitty gritty, the juicy stuff, right? In Philadelphia, there is statistically significant correlation between real estate value as measured by sales price and proximity to billboards using 2010 sale price data and taking into account adjacent amenities such as libraries and parks, residential real estate within 500 feet of a billboard. Here's the kicker, is $30,826 less valuable at the time of purchase according to the statistical model shown in table 1 below. This study is saying that the value of a residential property is devalued by over $30,000. What? Further described, the Model A here, according to the model, the amount of livable area is the most important factor in determining the price of a property. For each additional square foot of livable area, there is an $89 increase in price. Similarly, properties located in within 1,000 foot of amenities such as a bike path, libraries, and parks are associated with a higher price. Properties within 500 feet of a billboard have decreased in sale price of $30,826. Whoa. What in the world? Question 2. What impact do billboards have on home values within census tracts in the city of Philadelphia? They're just going on here again to say that for one billboard, billboards negatively impact home values. For each additional billboard in a census tract, there is a $947 decrease in a home's value. Considering that the mean number of billboards in a census tract is 4.8, the resulting decrease in value is $4,546 per house from homes in such districts when compared to the price of an equivalent home in a census tract without billboards. That's insane. That's unbelievable. So let's go down to the conclusion, right? Again, they continue to say that the billboards are really, really negatively impacting property value. A bunch of sources mentioned. Did I skip the conclusion? I think we got all the juice from this orange here, didn't we? Or lemon? See, yeah, that's what they're saying. I obviously didn't look into like who was funding this research or anything like that. Doesn't really matter. But just after this, exactly almost 1 year later, here's their billboard fact sheet that the Pittsburgh City Council was giving out. Remember we mentioned just a little bit ago, what do we get in return? The councilwoman had introduced legislation to hold multi-million-dollar billboard companies accountable for the city service. Apparently she was getting attacked pretty hard. The billboard company that was being attacked or felt attacked on this put up billboards with the councilwoman's. But anyway, as we get down here, they're saying that taxpayers subsidize billboard profits. Companies pay top dollar to put an ad on a billboard because thousands of people drive by it each day. But our tax dollars are used to build and maintain these roads. So they keep saying that, there are long, busy roads, and so they should help pay for the busy roads, I guess, right? What do we get in return? Billboards are eyesores that lower property values for our homes and businesses, according to the study. And that is the study that they sourced here. Already pay a similar tax in Philadelphia and other Pennsylvania towns. In Pittsburgh, they are spending thousands of dollars to avoid their fair share. So they should be bringing in, Pittsburgh should be bringing in $1.5 to $3 million per year because of the new levy that was placed on the revenue generated by billboards within the city limits, right? Here's the interesting part. They have had this in court. I don't know how you pronounce that. Larmer is the company that's sued. So here's an article from 2009 by 90.5 WESA. After 6 years, Pittsburgh has still received nothing from billboard tax and lawsuit drags on. Holy smokes. So they fought it, passed it and still fought it. Luke, the mayor at the time, and Larmer sued. Tax passed without the signature of the then mayor, and Lamar sued the city in 2013. The suit alleges that the tax violates Larmer's free speech rights and discriminates against outdoor advertising, and the state law doesn't permit such a tax. It goes on to hear some supporters are disappointed in the delay since then, among Mike DeWitta of Scenic Pittsburgh. It looks like Scenic Pittsburgh is one of the big advocates. Keep seeing the name come up here, which advocates for the region's green scenic resources. He points to a vista from the north side River Casino of Mount Washington when a large sign advertising Sprint is perched on the hillside as the kind of landscape a tax might protect from advertising. Just a little bit ago, we had that beer company up there. Remember the big backlash over that? It still went through and got passed, right? Here's Scenic America. I don't know what this might be. It's like some sort of nonprofit that has chapters throughout the country, but I did see that Pittsburgh has their own chapter. Very interesting stuff, right? This all comes from a Pittsburgh Reddit forum, right? So it just goes on here. They are, bashing billboards. So I just wanted to make this video because I've never thought of this. I've never thought that there was such a fuss. I, of course, knew that there was light pollution coming off of these billboards. Never actually considered negative impacts some might think is happening. One mentioned on here how bright some of these billboards are along the road and what that does. And I know that your eyes get pulled toward light, which is actually pretty dangerous. But hey, it passed, right? So anyway, this is David Kerr. I'm an agent with Coldwell Banker Realty in the Shady Side office. Appreciate you watching this video. If you liked what you've watched and listened to, make sure to hit that like button. And down in the comments, let me know what your opinion is. If you think billboards affect property values. I know as my 5 years here in real estate, I have never once been told from a buyer. They usually have a list of things that they want and things that they don't want. Things that they don't want being, let's say, a busy road. Hey, by the way, that reminds me, not one time in that article, in that study that they did, were major highways and busy roads mentioned. Where are billboards usually located, right? Busy roads, highways. Now that you think of it, that wasn't mentioned a single time in this Beyond Aesthetics. Wasn't mentioned. But yeah, where else are billboards placed? Okay, anyway, that's the end of this. I'm glad that you watched. Put your comments down below. Let me know what you think and whether or not you like or dislike billboards. Thanks for watching.